What's happening, Hollywood men fans? Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the hottest stories hitting the entertainment universe. The news cycle is moving at breakneck speed, and we've got the inside scoop you absolutely cannot miss. From the roar of the racetrack to the absurdity of espionage and the latest box office battles, we're diving deep into what's making waves. Buckle up, because this is your essential update, served with maximum energy and zero filler. Let's get into it. First up, we're shifting gears to the high-octane world of Formula One, but not just on the track. We've got a deep dive into a major film that's capturing attention, examining its critical reception and its unexpected chart performance. Is this the new benchmark for sports dramas, or is it stuck in the pit lane? Then, we're switching genres entirely to explore a critically acclaimed comedy that's about to leave your favorite streaming service. This Coen Brothers gem, featuring a star-studded cast, is a masterclass in absurdist humor. You'll want to catch this one before it disappears. Next, we're talking box office dominance and streaming success. One particular film is proving its staying power, not just in theaters, but also in digital rentals, even outperforming a certain Caped Crusader. We're breaking down how this drama is accelerating past the competition. And finally, we're heading to India to see how a major Hollywood production is making its mark on the international market. Which blockbuster is dominating the box office landscape overseas and leaving even its closest rivals in the dust? We've got the numbers. Don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's go. A spectacle stuck in neutral. The world of sports dramas often leans into the trope of the underdog, charting the rise of unlikely champions. F1, the latest cinematic offering exploring the high-stakes world of Formula One racing, attempts to tap into this familiar narrative with veteran driver Sonny Hayes, portrayed by Brad Pitt, seeking one last shot at glory. While the genre thrives on such stories, F1 struggles to break free from conventional storytelling, even as it dazzles with its visual presentation. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, the film's glossy exterior and the inherent drama of motorsport aren't quite enough to elevate a narrative that feels by the numbers, borrowing heavily from established formulas without adding significant innovation. The film introduces several subplots that unfortunately fail to gain traction. A romantic entanglement with Kate McKenna, played by Carrie Condon, feels underdeveloped and leads nowhere substantial. Similarly, the relationship with an old friend, Ruben Cervantes, portrayed by Javier Bardem, offers little emotional depth beyond a shared appreciation for automobiles. Even attempts to inject business espionage into the plot feel like perfunctory additions designed to maintain viewer engagement through its considerable runtime. Clocking in at a lengthy 2.5 hours, a duration that can be effective if utilized well. F1 instead meanders through idle conversations at poker tables and a predictable coming-of-age arc that feels both uninspired and poorly executed. The challenge for any sports drama is not just to include these elements, but to weave them into a compelling narrative tapestry, a task that F1 falters in achieving. The film's approach to the sport itself is also questionable. It seems to rely less on the inherent excitement of Formula One and more on the star power of Brad Pitt and his continued association with Apple TV+. However, following his recent work, this film does little to bolster his promising streak. Despite assembling a formidable cast, the potential for compelling character interplay, particularly between Condon, Damson Idris, and Pitt, is largely squandered. The characters remain largely one-dimensional, serving the plot rather than driving it. Their connections feel forced, a consequence of the filmmaker's apparent reluctance to explore deeper character dynamics. The film oscillates between moments of disaster and race sequences, creating a rhythm that, while mirroring the sport, ultimately feels repetitive and fails to build significant momentum. Even the recurring motif of characters facing brushes with mortality, a natural consequence of the dangerous sport, feels more like a narrative checkbox than a profound exploration. The pacing of F1 mirrors the sport's own potential for lulls, leaving the audience feeling like they're going nowhere fast. While one could argue that the unresolved subplots and open-ended nature of the narrative contribute to a certain, c'est la vie charm, the film lacks the finesse to pull this off. Instead, It's burdened by cliché-ridden dialogue and a predictable trajectory that undermines any potential for nuanced storytelling. Viewers familiar with the genre will find themselves anticipating every twist and turn, leaving little room for surprise or the discovery of subtle directorial touches or unique cast performances. The film, despite its depiction of crashes and crises, maintains a polished, almost sterile quality. The performances, unfortunately, fail to inject the necessary passion or explore the moral complexities inherent in a sport that thrives on danger. Even the few attempts at narrative misdirection are quickly abandoned for a safer, more predictable path. A curious choice for a film aiming to showcase the perilous nature of high-speed driving. But is this F1 epic truly a champion, or just another contender stuck in the pack? Stay tuned as we shift gears to a hilarious Coen Brothers classic hitting streaming hard. Streaming gem alert: don't miss this Coen Brothers comedy before it vanishes. When the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan, released Burn After Reading in 2008, it marked a significant departure from the grim intensity of their Oscar-winning No Country for Old Men. This shift towards a zany, absurdist espionage comedy, while perhaps surprising to some, showcased their unparalleled versatility and playful approach to filmmaking. Although some critics and audiences initially perceived it as a lesser work compared to their more dramatic endeavors, time has proven Burn After Reading to be a masterclass in dark humor and sharp satire. With its imminent departure from Netflix, now is the perfect moment to revisit or discover this brilliantly clever film. While Burn After Reading doesn't possess the chilling dread of No Country for Old Men, it offers an equally incisive, albeit comedic, commentary on human folly and self-deception. It stands as one of the Coen's funniest outings, propelled by a stellar ensemble cast delivering unforgettable line readings and an escalatingly absurd plot. The film cleverly skewers the self-seriousness often found in spy thrillers, utilizing the conventions of the genre, reminiscent of the Jason Bourne series, to tell a story about hilariously incompetent individuals caught in a web of their own making. The narrative kicks off with a seemingly high-stakes descent into the bowels of the CIA, complete with an insistent score suggesting grave importance. However, this grand setup quickly unravels when mid-ranking analyst Osborne Cox, played by John Malkovich, is demoted and quits in a fit of pique, rather than accept a lesser role. This impulsive decision triggers a cascade of increasingly ridiculous events, leading to fatal consequences stemming from what amounts to utterly meaningless secrets. Cox, aimless and prone to drinking, decides to pen his memoirs, despite a rather unremarkable career at the CIA. The catalyst for the film's chaotic spiral occurs when a disc containing his draft is carelessly left behind at a local gym. Two opportunistic, dim-witted gym employees, personal trainer Chad Feldhamer, Brad Pitt, and administrator Linda Litzk, Frances McDormand, stumble upon it and see it as their golden ticket to easy money. Their ill-conceived plan to blackmail Cox based on what they believe are sensitive government documents is only slightly more disastrous than Cox's own writing project. The convoluted scheme soon draws in Cox's wife, Katie Tilda Swinton, and her lover, U.S. Marshal Harry Farrah, George Clooney, both equally oblivious and paranoid, adding further layers to the escalating farce. The Coen brothers consistently attract top-tier talent, and Burn After Reading is a prime example, allowing stars like Pitt and Clooney to fully embrace their comedic potential and indulge in pure buffoonery. Pitt delivers a standout performance as the affable yet clueless Chad, whose initial idea to exploit the discovered documents sets the chaotic events in motion. The early phone interaction between Chad and Cox, with Linda eavesdropping, is a masterclass in comedic miscommunication. McDormand, a frequent collaborator with the Coens, shines as the narcissistic Linda, obsessed with cosmetic surgery. Clooney humorously deconstructs his suave persona as Harry, a marshal whose bravado crumbles at the slightest hint of trouble. Richard Jenkins provides a touch of soulfulness as the gym's former priest, perhaps the film's only genuinely decent character, whose unrequited affection for Linda ultimately leads to his downfall. These characters, driven by desperation and self-delusion, are hilariously pathetic, and the Coens expertly balance their mockery with a subtle undercurrent of compassion for their flawed humanity. But does this Coen Brothers comedy hit the mark or miss the streaming boat? Prepare for more as we dive into another film's surprising chart-topping performance. F1's streaming victory lap. Pitt's racing drama tops charts, overtakes Superman. Brad Pitt's summer blockbuster, F1, a high-octane drama centered on the world of Formula One racing, has proven to be a formidable force not just on the big screen, but also in the digital realm. Following its theatrical run, the film has made a significant impact on video-on-demand platforms, achieving a remarkable feat. It has surged to the #1 spot on the iTunes top charts, even managing to outpace the highly anticipated launch of James Gunn's DCU with Superman. This unexpected turn of events highlights the enduring appeal of Pitt's star power and the gripping nature of the racing narrative. In a summer crowded with diverse cinematic offerings, including family-focused stories and franchise revivals, F1 emerged as a standout. Its success in theaters was considerable, but its transition to digital rentals has solidified its position as a major hit. As of August 28, 2025, data from FlixPatrol indicated that F1 had surpassed Superman on the iTunes charts. This is particularly noteworthy given that Superman represented the dawn of a new cinematic universe for DC, boasting strong performances and impressive visual effects. While both films have found their audiences and achieved significant commercial success, the adrenaline-fueled drama of F1 clearly resonated with viewers seeking to relive the excitement at home. Directed by Joseph Kosinski and penned by Aaron Kruger, F1 immerses audiences in the intense world of professional racing. Brad Pitt stars as Sonny Hayes, a legendary driver making a comeback. The narrative sees him paired with a promising young rookie by a struggling team owner, setting the stage for a journey of redemption that emphasizes the collaborative nature of success in the sport. The film's strong supporting cast, including Damson Idris, Carrie Condon, Tobias Menzies, and Javier Bardem, provides solid performances that enhance Pitt's central role. Globally, F1 has grossed over $607 million, according to Box Office Mojo, and garnered critical acclaim with an 82% score from critics and an impressive 97% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, underscoring its widespread appeal. Superman, on the other hand, marked a significant moment for the DC Extended Universe. David Corenswet donned the iconic suit, portraying a Kal-El navigating the complexities of his dual heritage and the challenges of his world. Director James Gunn aimed for a lighter tone, allowing the characters to establish a fresh take on the universe without being weighed down by excessive seriousness. The film also performed strongly at the box office, crossing $606 million worldwide, and received positive reviews, with an 83% score from critics and 90% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. Both films represent considerable triumphs for their respective studios and genres. However, the continued dominance of F1 in digital rentals, driven by its star power and high-speed narrative, demonstrates a strong consumer demand for its particular brand of entertainment. So, is F1 the undisputed champion of home viewing, or is there another story heating up the charts? Get ready, because we're heading overseas to see which blockbuster is making the biggest international splash. Hollywood Power Play. Pitt's F1 dominates Indian box office, surpassing Johansson's latest. In a significant display of Hollywood's global reach, Brad Pitt's Formula One racing drama, F1, has accelerated past Scarlett Johansson's Jurassic World: Rebirth to become the second highest-grossing Hollywood film of the year in India. This achievement underscores the film's broad appeal and its ability to capture the attention of diverse international markets, even amidst a competitive landscape of major releases. F1, directed by Joseph Kosinski, has been a consistent performer since its release, resonating with audiences worldwide. Its success in India, a crucial and rapidly growing market for international cinema, is particularly noteworthy. By surpassing Jurassic World: Rebirth, the film has not only demonstrated its commercial strength, but also highlighted the enduring popularity of its lead star, Brad Pitt, and the universal appeal of high-octane sports dramas. The film's ability to connect with Indian audiences speaks volumes about its storytelling and production quality, positioning it as a major player in the global box office race. The narrative of F1 centers on Sonny Hayes, a veteran racing driver who gets a chance at a comeback, showcasing the grit, determination, and passion required in the demanding world of Formula One. Supported by a strong ensemble cast and visually stunning cinematography, the film offers an immersive experience that has translated successfully across different cultural contexts. Its critical and commercial reception globally reflects a well-crafted film that balances intense action with compelling character development. The comparison with Jurassic World: Rebirth places F1 in esteemed company, as the Jurassic World franchise is a globally recognized powerhouse. F1's superior performance in India suggests a strong audience preference for its specific genre and narrative themes within that territory. This success is a testament to strategic marketing and distribution efforts tailored for the Indian market, ensuring the film reached its intended audience effectively. As the year progresses, F1 continues to solidify its status as one of the year's biggest cinematic achievements, both domestically and internationally. With F1 hitting such impressive milestones, what other cinematic stories are capturing global attention? Prepare for our lightning round recap and a final call to action. And that's a wrap on today's adrenaline-fueled updates. We saw Brad Pitt's F1 drama dominate the digital charts, then dove into the Coen Brothers' hilarious Burn After Reading before it left Netflix. We also celebrated F1's box office win over Superman and saw Pitt's film conquer the Indian market. Don't miss out on any future buzz. Hit that like button, subscribe for more Hollywood action, and smash that notification bell so you're always in the know. Plus, drop a comment below with your thoughts and follow us on all social platforms for behind-the-scenes action. We'll see you next time.